I am a recovering people pleaser. That's right. I did whatever I thought people wanted and what they told me to do because I had some serious low self-esteem. I had a lot of self-esteem issues and hated myself. But Jay helped me learn to love myself and helped me heal that. However, I still had problems with people pleasing because of low self-esteem. So today we're going to talk to Jay about low self-esteem and people pleasing. And hopefully I can improve my self-esteem a little bit while on camera so I can stop doing what people want me to do. So Jay, thank you so much for helping me with my self-esteem issues and my people pleasing. And I have recently found out that these two go hand in hand. I recently found out that low self-esteem is one of the causes of people pleasing. So I was wondering why people hate themselves so much that they'll just let other people tell them what to do.
Okay, that's a pretty heavy question, but I like it. Asking the stuff that matters.
Those hard questions that other people are afraid to answer or ask.
Yeah, the thing is, the answers come when you ask different questions or better questions, or if I ask a question in response. So let me ask you, were you born hating yourself and willing to do whatever anyone else said?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So there was a period of years or a period of time where you loved yourself and did whatever you wanted and didn't give a F what anybody else said.
Yeah, there were a lot of years of my life like that, actually. Yeah.
So for most people, it's at least, 2 years, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 7. Usually somewhere in there, they start loving themselves less and doing what people want more. It's very common.
Right.
So if you have personally gone through this, if you have personally loved yourself and done whatever you want for X number of years, you tell me what happened. When did you start not loving yourself so much? When did you start hating yourself? When did you start doing what other people said and why?
Well, I got bullied a lot in school, so...
Oh, you think it started at school? You don't think it started before kindergarten?
Maybe. I don't remember.
So here's the thing. Did you used to wake up whenever you wanted, no matter who got annoyed?
Yeah.
Did you used to throw food whenever you wanted, no matter who got annoyed?
Yeah.
Did you used to climb out of cribs or go to places in the home that you wanted, no matter who got annoyed?
Yes.
Okay, so you had a habit of doing whatever the F you wanted, no matter who got annoyed.
Yeah.
You had that habit for years, but eventually it went away. Eventually you started making decisions not based on what you wanted, but based on who got annoyed.
Well, yeah. Now that you ask that way, yes.
Right. In life, we can make decisions based on what we really want, or we can make decisions based on who it bothers. Right? Is that
right?
You can make a decision based on your internal guidance or some external thing.
Yeah, fair play.
Right. But all of us as infants were born following our internal guidance and not giving a rat's ass about an external thing.
Yeah.
But the switch happens somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, a people pleaser has started making all their decisions based off of external things.
Yeah, because I didn't want my mom to be mad at me.
There you go.
Her.
There you go. But when you were an infant, did you care if your mom got mad? When you woke up in the night, were you like, I shouldn't cry tonight because mom might get mad? Or did you just do whatever you wanted and who cares who gets mad?
Yeah, I did whatever I wanted and I didn't care who got mad.
Right. So you had a good few years where you didn't give a rip what external people thought or felt.
Right. Fair play.
And those were some of the best years of your life where you grew the most and you were most in tune with yourself and most aligned with yourself. And you were a beautiful, innocent babe that everyone loved. And even when they got mad, they couldn't really blame you. You were just doing what you wanted. So you had a good habit. You had a good vibe going. You were doing what you wanted. Consequences be damned for years.
Yes.
But sometime, usually before kindergarten, you started pulling back on that. You put the kibosh on that. You got a new habit.
I think I started understanding other people's emotions more.
Sure.
I think we all do. Like we start seeing what we do and how it affects the people around us. And so when I was 5, I cut off all my hair, like in the front here. And my mom's reaction was to cut the rest of it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had really long hair. It was like down to my waist. And her reaction was to cut the rest of it, which I thought was weird. Why not just let it grow out? Like leave it alone.
She wanted to even it up or something.
But the reason I bring it up is because I remember that was the first time that I can recall, anyway, in my memory now, where I thought, "Oops, I made her mad. I made her mad."
Right. But at 4, you would have cut your hair and not cared who got mad. Or at 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't cut it again, was because I realized, okay, this is something that makes her mad, so I won't do it.
Sure. But isn't that a clear example of people pleasing? Like,
Yes.
the world will end if you cut your hair.
No.
What if your soul wants to cut your hair? Just like you wanted to jump out of the crib, or you wanted to wake up late or wake up early when you were an infant. Like, you were doing what you wanted. You were following your soul. But then at 5, you followed your soul and did what you wanted. And the consequences were unpleasant and the external things were unpleasant, and you were nudged into never doing that again.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, yeah. And then I start doing that for everything else too.
Sure.
No more writing on the walls.
Sure.
No more leaving toys around.
Sure. But imagine if Banksy gave up writing on the walls.
Right.
For other people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this makes the cops mad. This makes the school mad. This makes my parents mad. I'm going to stop writing on walls. Now, Banksy, like world famous graffiti artist, is no more. The world has no Banksy now because he stopped following his heart and started caring what everybody else thinks and became a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Right. Or imagine Marilyn Monroe not being Marilyn, right? Like not being seductive or not being feminine or not being a naughty girl or not being a starlet or a seductress or whatever you think she is, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't think that pissed people off? You don't think that ruffled some feathers? Maybe lost her some family, lost her some movie deals?
Definitely. She lost a lot of people in her life because she was who she was.
Sure. If she was a people pleaser, we don't get a Marilyn. No legacy, no impact.
Right.
She doesn't make waves for society. None of that. You just get a cog in a machine doing what parents want.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why I'm really, even though I'm not happy with what my daughter does, but I'm proud of her for not caring what I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm proud of her doing it regardless of my opinion.
Right. You're proud she didn't turn out to be a people pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah. At least in that area.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
She might still be a people pleaser in other areas.
Yeah, she is. But that's it's a good start for her. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sure. But it took you a while to get trained into a habit of people pleasing. So it takes you a while to get trained out of it.
Yeah, so this is one of the things for me that is a continual constant. So I have all the lessons and know that this is abusive to be people pleasing, and
it hurts you and it hurts others and it hurts the world.
Right, but it still lingers, the people pleasing, and I don't know if it's because it's been so long that I've had this, I've done this. It's a generational curse that I need to break. Or it's just something that I need to pay more attention to on the regular, like just more practice and more practice and more practice.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Like everyone's a people pleaser. 99% of people.
Right.
It's hard to find someone who's not.
Well, that's why this resonates with so many people.
Sure. But Kanye West seems like someone who's not a people pleaser. He does whatever the hell he wants and has for years and ages and decades, and he's gotten so far with it. But I bet you any money, some of his decisions were made because he wanted to please his family or please Kim Kardashian or please his manager or something. And then he got fed up with people pleasing and then he like fired them all. And he was like, I shouldn't have people pleased. And like all this kind of thing, right? You can pick anybody. They are often backing down from their opinions or backing down from their stances or doing things they don't want to do because they want to please others. They don't want to lose their social connections. They're scared to lose their bank account. They don't want the government to come down on them. They're afraid of consequences. But when they were little, when they were infants, they did not care about consequences and they followed what was in their heart.
Yeah.
And it happens to all of us.
Well, yeah, I guess celebrities may even be more susceptible to that because
their whole career is based on people pleasing the fans or people pleasing their social connections, the Hollywood.
Well, that's why men like Harvey Weinstein and whoever else, I can't think of anybody, Epstein and all of them. That's why they were able to do what they did, because these people were afraid to lose whatever it was they were going to have, whether it was money or power or position or a movie or whatever.
Right. But as an infant or a toddler, you were not afraid to lose.
No.
You were happy to lose. You were like, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Well, so this whole thing has come up for me because I'm seeing other people. I'm seeing other people close to me not seeing their own things. So they're not self aware enough to understand or to see what it means to be a people pleaser or what they're doing. Like to say out loud, I don't care what people think. And then in the next breath, tell me that, oh my God, the neighbors are going to see.
Yeah, we talked about this, but like
Yes.
if a celebrity can't do it, if a celebrity is going to people please, how much can we expect from our next door neighbor or our friends or our family?
We can't, yeah, like you can't expect much.
Right. They're going to people please too. And it has to start with you anyways. If you people please, even once, can you really say anything about other people?
No.
Right. And most of us people please at least once.
Yes, because it's easier
You and me included.
sometimes. Yeah, yeah. I know. I have people pleased with you before. Yes.
Yeah. But
anytime.
I encourage no one to people please with me. The last thing I
Yeah.
want is someone to put me on a pedestal or care about my thoughts or feelings. Like if I offer some good input and you like it and take it, great. If you want to ignore my input, great. But I just want people to follow their heart and their soul and their true calling and their purpose. I want them to be as alive and innocent and loving and free as they were when they were babies. And I know the world won't end when that happens. I know true growth comes when that happens. I know that's when we get the best human beings, is when they are more focused on their inner guidance and their true calling and their true purpose than they are about any consequences or any external factors or any pressures from others or any possible losses that might happen. Brave, courageous people step up in the face of loss. They don't care about the loss. They just do what they know is right. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I want for everybody.
Well, I love that. And I want people to be that way. I want to be that way. I'm much better than I was before.
Mhm.
Being here too around my family has shown me a lot of my growth, like kind of put it in front of my face where like it's been like, oh yeah, I've grown from these things and I'm better and stuff. But to like have it in my face, it's kind of nice on one hand, because then it's glaringly obvious the changes I've made. But at the same time, it's a little frustrating because I just want to help them the same way that you helped me. And especially with this topic, especially with the people pleasing.
Well, you got to find your tribe.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know that I can't force it on other people. And if you are not open and willing to change these things or admit these things, then you can't, you'll never stop being a people pleaser. I think a lot of people also that they're offended by the word people pleaser. Right. And so like we've talked about it in my house here.
Well, it's not a great term. Like,
no, it's
who
not.
wants to be a people pleaser?
Right.
And because deep down they know when they were little, they weren't a people pleaser. And if they want to succeed at life, if they want to truly soar, they need to get back to that. They need to embrace their true dreams and their true desires and their true heart and follow their true path and stop people pleasing. And so, of course, it's offensive. Like, no one's going to be happy seeing themselves as a people pleaser or catching themselves in people pleasing behavior or being called a people pleaser. Like, the whole term is just not nice, but it exists.
Yeah.
It's reality. It happens.
So. Well, I think because it's a term people don't like, they go one of two ways. They either like, wow, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Or they're like, oh, no way, Because so I've experienced both. My dad was like, wow, that's what I do. Like it was a revelation to him to hear the words people pleasing. And then he listed a few of the things that he had done recently within the family dynamic that he saw as people pleasing. Where my mom was the opposite. I was like, I don't do that, and complete deniability or denying anything, any people pleasing in any way, shape, or form. And so, like, language is powerful, and where my stepdad saw it as like empowerment to admit that this is what he's done. And there was no like, oh, I'm going to change this, or it was just awareness for him, which is great. I'll take any progress. But for my mom, it was just, there was no self-awareness at all of any part that she might have played in people pleasing, having him people please to her or people pleasing to us, the rest of us, or her boss or whatever. Right. And so I thought it was interesting. The words, like they trigger people because, like you said, it's not a nice word. It's not. But to me, all of these uncomfortableness that we have with other people is all an umbrella of people pleasing, right? And so this whole episode started too because I noticed that it was a self-esteem issue.
Yeah. So when you were little, how was your self-esteem? As
Oh,
an infant, as a toddler?
I thought I was the queen of Sheba.
Right.
The most awesomest of the
Right.
awesomest.
Right.
Yeah.
And this applies to pretty much everyone. Everyone as a kid had pretty high self-esteem.
Right.
At least for a little while, until it got trained out of them. And so when we follow our heart, make our own mistakes, do our own things, explore the world the way we want to explore, consequences be damned, what happens to our esteem? It stays.
Oh, it stays super high.
Right.
And we love ourselves and we think we're awesome.
Right. Even if we fall down the stairs, even if we smack into the furniture, even if we burn ourselves on a stove, we still feel good because we followed our heart and we owned the consequences and we moved forward with life and we learned from experiences. But what happens if you want to cut your hair and someone reacts badly and then you decide, oh, I'm never cutting my hair again, even though your soul still wants you to explore that?
Yeah, like it lowers your self-esteem.
Yeah, what happens when you write on the wall, like Banksy, and someone responds poorly and you don't like it and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just never do that again. And so your life gets smaller and smaller. Okay, I'm not going to cut my hair. Okay, I'm not going to draw on the walls. So I'm not going to be a hairstylist and I'm not going to be a graffiti artist. Like your life just gets smaller and smaller and your options get smaller and smaller as you allow other people's opinions and reactions and responses to cage you and cage your true self. What happens then to your self-esteem?
So that whole little thing you just said, I would like a clip of that to share with the audience because the part I resonated with was that our life gets smaller and smaller.
Yep.
And
every people pleaser they feel caged and limited. They feel restricted. They don't feel free. They feel like they're in prison. They can't be themselves. They can't do what they want. They feel like they are in a cage of other people's opinions. If you could picture a cage made up of angry, mean, crunchy, selfish, agendaed opinions, that's where they're living.
100%. When we met, that's how I felt. I started to tear up when you said it because I felt caged. I felt like I had nothing except the apartment I lived in. Like, and I don't mean like material things. I mean, like that was the extent of my world. I lived in New York City and I still felt like the extent of my world was the apartment I was living in because I felt caged. I had to do what my mom thought was best. I had to do what I thought my ex-husband thought was best, what my kids thought was best. And even now,
I know.
Even now, you and I off camera, we're talking about an opportunity we've had to live in a different state. And my feeling inside was, what are the children going to say?
Yeah, it's way too external. Why is that even a factor? Why is that on your radar? Why do you care? Like, why? Because you're trained to. Because of habit.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with caring about other people. There's nothing wrong with taking them into account, but there's an order.
Yeah.
And people pleasers take them into account instantly, right away, before their own self, before meditating, before intuition, before checking with their heart or their soul. They are on to what will other people think or say or do. Their whole life is what will happen to the cage of opinions. Like, will I add another bar? Will someone else say something mean to me? They're always trying to avoid another mean opinion or another harsh opinion or another judgment. They're so afraid of judgment for their life choices that they just stop making them and they just start defaulting to whatever keeps other people happy. But if you really want to care about someone, you have to care about yourself first.
Yes.
Like you did as an infant or a toddler. You have to get in tune with yourself and do what suits you best. If that means touch the hot stove and make your own mistakes, so be it. And so as kids, it's like, okay, I don't want mom to be mad, but I still want to run out and play with my friends. So I'm going to do it. And it's like, great. This is the opposite of people pleasing. You put yourself first and you checked in with your soul and your heart and your true calling. And it told you, go play. And you're like, I know she's going to be mad, but I got to do it.
Yeah.
This is a badass move. This is the opposite of a people pleaser. And
I've done that before. Yeah.
And this is someone who is clearly considering other people's feelings, right? They're not uncaring or callous or apathetic, or they're like, I've considered mom's feelings, but I got to do me.
Yeah.
So this is a healthy approach. You put yourself first, you check in with your intuition, you find out what you really want, and then you look at how people are going to react. And like, do I want to put my dreams on hold put my true calling on hold because of other people's judgments? Or do I want to pull the trigger and go through with it despite other people's judgments? This is something that a self-aware person who's in tune with themselves does in order to care for others and function in society. Like, I know my boss is going to be mad if I take the day off, but I'm going to put my family first this time, or I'm going to put my mental health first this time. It's like, okay, this person has thought it through. They've considered it and they've chosen the right path for them. But people pleasers don't do that. They don't carefully consider things and tune in with themselves and find out their true path. Their true path is long gone. They don't even know it exists anymore. They're so people pleasy that they just are like, oh, what will the kids think? What will mom think? What will the society think? Will I lose social connections? Is this going to hurt my bank account? All external factors. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Outside things will crumble. There will be outside consequences. I can't possibly listen to my heart. Forget this. I'm just going to do whatever doesn't add a bar to my cage. And the thing is, every time they people please, they just add another bar to their cage.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. People often clash with me or don't get along with me if they're people pleasers, because I preach doing your own thing. I preach following your own heart. I preach trusting your own instincts and your own path and tuning into your intuition. I preach disconnecting from devices and society and influences and tuning into yourself and your soul and your vision and your mission and your purpose and why you're here, to really make true decisions that matter. And I don't want them to care about my feelings or anyone else's. There's 1 billion people, 8 billion people on the world, and they all have 8 billion different opinions and judgments. How are you supposed to factor that in? Why would you give up? At any time, one of your inner circle could decide drawing on walls isn't good. And now Banksy has to either cut off his friend or stop drawing. At any time, your inner circle could decide that being a blonde bombshell is bad. And now Marilyn Monroe has to choose between her friend and following her bombshell path. Like, at any time, the random fickle opinions of the people in your inner circle can change, and they can have some moral judgment of you. And now you're forced to choose between them and your dream. It happens all the time. So, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with that? The only reliable, safe, effective, worthy response is to do what feels best to you. All 8 billion opinions be damned.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right. And, you're the first relationship I've ever had where somebody said to me, don't care about how I feel. Don't care about what I think or how I feel.
Yeah, you know what?
And at first I was like, yeah, right. Like, sure, dude. Like, and then I still put you on a pedestal and I still did things because I thought that's what you wanted. Like, oh, he's just saying that because that was my experience before. It was like someone would say, oh, do whatever you want, and then make snide remarks like this stupid chair that we bought for the baby, and it's like, oh yeah, like that's great, you're like doing things for the baby, but I wouldn't pick that and I wouldn't do that. It was so this is what I was used to. Like, if a partner said, it's okay, you can whatever you want. It never ever felt that way because they always said things because it wasn't true. But with you, it was actually true. You really meant it. You were really like, no, do the things you want to do the things you love. And I'm still over here guessing what I think you want, because isn't that what everyone does? Isn't that how all relationships are?
Most people.
No, they are not. And there are people out there who really genuinely want you to do whatever you love to do. And you showed me this. You showed me that you really meant it when you wanted me to not care about your opinions on what you thought. And even though I love you so much and I do care about your opinions and you matter to me, I have learned that I have to do what feels best to me first. So yeah, like, you taught me that it's true when you say, do what you love, do what feels best. And now I do. But that took a long time.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of practice. And people don't like this. They don't want to practice.
No.
They don't want to make hard decisions. They don't want to catch themselves people pleasing and reverse it. They don't want to create conflict with others or ruffle their social circles or trim the fat or prune them or go find their tribe. They don't want to do any of this stuff. They just want life to magically be served up to them on a silver platter while they keep people pleasing their way through everything. But that's not how it works. You got to practice. You got to practice tuning into your intuition and tuning into your true calling and your vision and your purpose. And these words sound like weird, woo-woo, abstract things, but they are not. They are real things. Your purpose might be an intimate relationship, to be a supportive helpmeet. Your purpose might be to be an empress, like an empire builder. Your purpose might be to create a family with a village off grid. Your purpose might be something else entirely. It might be to be a janitor. It might be anything, but you got to find what's really calling you and make the decisions that align with that. And if you don't even know what's calling you or what your purpose is or what your intuition is saying or what impulses are coming from your body or your cells or your soul, if you're out of tune with these, you got a lot of practice coming up. Like, because you used to be in tune with your impulses. You used to be in tune with your desires. You used to know, should I touch the hot stove and learn a hard lesson? Should I fall down the stairs? Like, should I tackle this? You didn't care. You used to know, should I try cutting my hair or should I not? And you just went and did it, no matter what anybody else thought. And it's really, really key that people get back to that. Otherwise, they're basically neutered. They're powerless. Your power comes from being an individual aspect of the universe. Your power comes from being your personal perspective, your individual perspective, your experiences, your uniqueness. And secretly, deep down, everyone knows it. They know I'm special. I'm unique. No one's like me. No one's had my ancestors. No one's lived through what I've lived through. No one's had my thoughts or emotions or experience. There's some overlap and some similarities, but damn it, I'm me and I matter and I'm impactful. And they secretly know it in every freaking cell of their body. Even when they're suicidal and depressed, they're like, secretly, damn it, I still matter. That's why they're so depressed, because the way they're living and the way society is reacting doesn't seem like they matter, but they know they do. And it's like that discord that drives people nuts. And it's like, yeah, of course, because you haven't been practicing being who you are and doing what calls you. And you got to start practicing in the small moments, in that argument with that person, in that schedule, setting that boundary, aligning your time differently, changing that habit, breaking that pattern, setting a new habit, making a new decision. If you can't follow your heart on those small things, how are you ever going to do it for big things like your career or your relationship? You see what I'm saying? People got to practice tuning into their intuition. You tell me how someone ever stops people pleasing and caring about all of others' external opinions if they don't know who they are, what they stand for, and what's calling them moment to moment.
Well, I need to go even a little further than that, because if you don't love yourself at all, you can't even get to that point where you know what you love and know what you want and make decisions like you're saying, you know? And so one of the things I noticed with my mom is like, you know how I used to cry all the time?
Yeah.
She does it all the time. So first, let me just take a moment to apologize to you for all those moments that I cried unnecessarily, which I don't really do much anymore. Like, not like that. And I was surprised. And my daughter, her frustration with it as well. She gets super frustrated from it. But I can see that it's because her self-esteem is so low that she's so far away from even knowing what she actually likes or wants, and is so unhappy with the way she looks and her body and her clothes and her resources, but can't even say those words.
Sure.
So when someone is that low, when they're hate themselves that much, like how can I help that? How can I help somebody like that?
It's easy, actually, because you make it sound super dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these people are so down in a hole and it's impossible
to get out. So dramatic.
Sure. But to me, it's about as dramatic as a long staircase. Like, okay, great. It's a long staircase. I don't care if it's the freaking pyramids. It's not really hard to fix this. Oh no, a pyramid. Whatever shall we do? Can anyone figure out a solution? Come on, man. It's super obvious, right?
Yeah, just climb the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. You take the first step. You climb the stairs. And it's not going to be overnight magical quantum leap success. A magic helicopter is not going to fly down and do the work for you. It's a human journey, and you got to do it step by step. But when your mom was born, I guarantee you, she had a buttload of self-esteem and she was doing whatever the hell she wanted. Consequences be damned. And so, 40, 60, 80 years of people pleasing has put her in a cage. And she's like, well, I won't do that. And I won't do that. I won't look hot. I won't eat right. I won't change my diet. I won't ruffle feathers. I won't change my job. I won't quit. I won't find new jobs. I won't do anything. She just has a cage of things that she won't do because it's going to upset someone else.
Right.
And so now she has to dismantle the bars bit by bit, which means if you wake up and you don't like how you look, use your God-given human abilities and change it. Slap on a little makeup today. Wear a better dress today. Go for an extra walk today and burn 5 more calories today. Like, take the first step. Do what your heart is telling you. Is your heart telling you to do the same routines over and over and let your weight get worse? Is your heart telling you to go through the same motions at your job and be more and more miserable? Is that what your heart's telling you? Or is that what external opinions have caged you into? Is that what your people-pleasing is telling you? Or is that what your heart is telling you? Big difference. And anyone who wants to get out of these holes, they got to practice taking the first step and ditching the people-pleasing for their true calling on the little things, moment to moment. If you want to drink, but you're watching TV, what do?
You get a drink.
Soul wants a drink. Your body wants a drink. Your cells want hydration. Yeah, but I'll just wait till the show ends. As a baby or a toddler, you would never do that. You would leave the TV instantly and go grab your water bottle, your milk bottle or whatever, your sippy cup. Like, what happened? What happened to all y'all? Why are you so stuck in your ways? Why are you so comfortable? Why are you so hesitant to change anything? Why won't you make a new decision? Why are you so worried about what people think or external consequences? Miss part of the show and get the water. This is how you practice your intuition. This is how you practice following your heart and trusting your impulses and regaining your instincts and building your intuition back. And if you can't do it with a fucking drink of water, then you deserve whatever you get.
It makes total sense. My granddaughter has no problems getting up in the middle of the show and going to pick up some random toys or bottle or whatever she wants. Sometimes she comes back to the show. Sometimes she doesn't. She does whatever she feels like.
Amen.
I think everyone in this house should really look at her and copy her.
Yes. Kids are teaching us. They are trying to remind us of how we used to be. They're trying to remind us of how good life can be. They're trying to remind us to stop caring about loss or what I'm going to lose or external consequences or other people's opinions or what others want for me. They're out there doing whatever the hell they want and growing and blossoming because of it.
You know what's really funny? I find interesting about my own mother. This is just a side thing. You don't have to keep this in, but she left Colombia when she was 19 years old against the will of her family and her parents. And she had all these siblings that were little. They were all little.
Remind her of that.
Yeah, I will, actually. So
tell her how inspiring that was.
I will, because all her siblings were so little, and yet her and 2 of her sisters took off for America, and my mother took care of them. She was their mother. She worked while they went to high school. And she did not give a crap about what her family thought. And she made enough money where she could send money back to Colombia to her parents sometimes. So if she didn't care about them, and like the kids growing up, why should it matter for me? I mean, not that I don't care about my kids.
I agree.
My kids are grown. They're 16. You don't want to spend time with me.
This is the thing. Even if she was 2, it doesn't matter. Like, this is the thing. Everyone is like, what if I'm going to be judged as a bad mom? What if my kids hate me? What if? And it's like, you're already done, man. You already lost. You're already people pleasing. They haven't said they're going to hate you. They haven't said you're going to be a bad mom. You don't know what they're going to think about you in 10 years. They might think you did the best thing in the world and you inspired them to go live their dream, just like your mom left and inspired you to live yours. Like, no one knows what's going to happen. People just in their mind are like, oh my God, a whole bunch of people will be displeased if I do this, and I'll get a lot of judgment if I do this. So I couldn't possibly do this. And bam, the cage is down, and that's off the menu. That dream is dead. Literally never to be followed again. It's like,
yeah.
All right. I mean, you just made up a bunch of shit in your head about what people are going to say or think, and then killed your dream. Have fun, I guess. If it's me, I'm going to do what I feel like, and I don't care what people think. I would like for them to think good things, and I'd like them to see it my way, and I'd like them to get on board, and I'd like them to support me. But if they don't, I don't care, because I'm doing what's in my heart, and it's the best for the world. If you want to help the world and live your best dream, you absolutely must be good at doing what's in your heart.
So there are people at the beginning of their people-pleasing journey and who recognize they want to end the people-pleasing, but they haven't tackled the self-esteem issue, right? And so I keep coming back to it because for me, personally, it's something that I've been still working on. It's something that
Well, let me ask you a simple question.
Okay.
What is worth more? What is worth more? What has more value? your personal inner guidance from your heart and soul that's been helping you since you were a baby, whenever you choose to listen to it, or the yapping of 8 billion opinions?
No, my inner soul.
Well, okay, so hold on. So if someone has self-esteem problems and they want to fix that self-esteem problems, are they going to fix it by making the unworthy, lower value choice of giving into people's opinions? Or are they going to fix it by listening to their heart and soul like they used to do, because that's always the more valuable and more worthy choice?
No, they're going to fix it by choosing what they want and doing what they want and listening to the voice inside. But but before they can even get to that point, so many people are
No. Everyone has that choice every moment, right?
Right.
Everyone has the water TV choice all the time. You show me someone and I will show you they had a moment where they wanted water and they stayed to watch the show.
Yes.
So that's not me. I'm pausing the show to get my water.
Well,
or I don't care if I miss the whole show. My cells say water, my body says water, just like an infant, I'm getting it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you put me beside these TV watchers, these people pleasers, and one of us is going to boost our self-esteem by making the worthy, high value choice. And the other one is going to hurt their self-esteem by giving into outside opinions and comfort zones and habits and patterns and all this bullshit.
Right.
So everyone is gifted with thousands of these moments a day where you get to choose your inner calling and what you really want and what your heart and soul and cells want, or what the world wants, what habits want, what comfort wants, right? You get to choose that. Right. So these people aren't magically left out and they don't have some monster hill to climb or some huge obstacle. We're all in the pyramid climbing up. I might be further ahead, but like no one's robbing them of these chances to build their self-esteem.
No, of course not.
They are gifted with thousands of chances to improve their self-esteem, thousands of chances to stop people pleasing and start doing what they truly want to do. Consequences be damned. I can't help it if they make shitty choices.
No, I think the first step for everyone is to admit that they have low self-esteem.
And admit that they're given so many opportunities to boost their self-esteem.
And yeah, but I think in the beginning for me, if you had said that you have so many opportunities to boost your self-esteem, I would have denied that.
Yeah, you would have fought me. Sure. Because there are phases in life. So when we have a problem or something that's holding us back, a block of some kind, the first phase is denial, because you can't see it. You're blind to it and you deny it.
Yes.
Even if someone points it out, you deny it. Even if someone gives you good advice, you deny it. Even if it would help you change and it would make your life 1,000,000 times better, 1,000,000,000 times better, if you change it right now, you still deny it. So if someone's in denial phase, what's the point? There's no point in even engaging with them. Life will sort them out. Eventually they will get out of the denial phase.
Okay, so then for just a side note, for the people who have people like this in our lives, how do we, so that it doesn't affect our own people-pleasing ways and our own self-esteem, how do we deal with people like that in our lives? You say just leave them alone, right?
Yeah, it's a big world. You should go find your tribe.
Yeah,
you are the 5 closest people to you, the people you spend the most time with. If you hang out with 5 deniers, 5 people pleasing folks in denial, you're gonna end up just like them.
You're 6.
Yeah, you're the 6th people pleaser in denial. Why make your life hard? Why would you hang around these people? Is your life that limited? You couldn't possibly find other humans on planet Earth? You could not. There's just no human possible way that you could change your tribe and hang around different people. Physically impossible. Somehow you have been put in a titanium cage with 5 people and there's no way out. Is that what we're dealing with here?
No.
Right. So this is what I mean. People would rather become the 6th people pleaser than change their social circles. They don't want to lose their people. They don't want to cut them off. They don't want to prune their social circles. They don't want to gradually start spending time with different people. They don't want to associate with others. They just want to hang around the deniers and somehow fix them. But I'm telling you right now, you could get Jesus Christ himself to come down and he would not be able to fix the deniers. People in denial are basically unhelpable. And that's okay, because it's just a phase. And eventually they'll wake up and come out of it. Now, maybe there's some entrepreneur or some celebrity or some amazing guru or teacher whose life's purpose is to fix or help the deniers. I've never met them, never heard of them, never seen them. I haven't seen a single person who can magically like talk to a denier and get them out of it, or hang around them and get them out of it. They stay in denial because the thing that wakes up a denier is people leaving. It's the only thing that wakes up a denier. You have an alcoholic who keeps swearing they're going to change. You know, the only thing that ever changes them when all their people leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing else changes them. A book doesn't change them. A video doesn't change them. A conversation doesn't change them. Being a good role model doesn't change them. They literally stay an alcoholic until everyone leaves.
Yeah.
The thing is, most people have circles who are made up of people pleasers who are in denial. And then when the initial person finally starts waking up to their own people pleasing and wants to change it, they of course want to bring everyone along with them. They want all their deniers to also drop the people pleasing.
Right.
But what they don't realize is the only effective solution that wakes up deniers is being ejected from social circles. So they want to fix the deniers, but they don't want to eject them from social circles. And so now they're stuck. Now they're stuck with the deniers.
Right.
They should leave and go find their tribe. They should distance themselves from these people in denial. But we all arrogantly and cockily think that we're Jesus Christ level or beyond, and we're going to magically cure these deniers of their denial phase. Doesn't happen.
No, doesn't.
Just like an alcoholic who's in denial. There's only one thing that ever works with those people. When they lose their friends and family, their connections, their spouse, their partner, their best friend, something. They wake up when they lose people. And as long as they keep their people around, they're in blissful denial.
Right.
And then the next phase is awareness. So if you make it to awareness, that's good. Like you were talking about your dad who seemed aware of his people pleasing, but you also said he did not make any commitment to change. He just said, oh yeah, I'm aware. That's interesting.
Yes.
Right. These people aren't as stubborn and bad as the deniers, but it's still rough because they're obviously not interested in changing. It's like if you become aware of your hand on a hot stove and it's burning you, it's hurting your life.
Right.
You could stand there and say, huh, that's interesting. I seem to be burning my hand. I'm very aware of this now. That's painful. But someone who's really ready to change doesn't even stop to say that. They're just like, I'm done, yo. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's enough of that. So someone who's aware but not committed to change will make excuses and they'll talk about it and it'll look like they're being vulnerable or aware, like, oh, I realize this about myself. I should really change that. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. And then everyone leaves the conversation and you feel happy that you brought some awareness to them and they feel happy that they admitted something vulnerable, but it's like you're still in the awareness stage. Like, great, you're not in denial, but you still haven't changed anything or made your life better. And you can stay in the awareness stage for a long time too.
You can stay at any of these stages for a long time.
Yeah.
And so when you started talking about this, about deniers, my energy changed a little because I felt sad, not for myself. I felt sad for my mom. I felt sad that she'll never know the feeling that I have of genuinely doing what I love. And she remains a people pleaser because the other people around her continue to be people pleasers and feed into that. Her husband, my kids,
sure,
her friends, her sisters. Yeah.
You can change this. So the way to help is by distancing yourself from those people. And as you do...
I did that for 5 years.
You didn't. No, I don't mean distance yourself by space or geography. Distancing yourself by geography is meaningless. If you still WhatsApp them and FaceTime them and like you guys still have the same conditions, they're still paying your rent or you're still sending them money or whatever it is. Like as long as the relationship energetically hasn't changed, there's not distance. Okay. So when I say distance yourself, I mean energetically distance yourself. You could be living with someone and be energetically distant from them. I've done it before and they can feel it and they know.
I hated it. Yes.
And geography has nothing to do with it.
It's true.
Right. So when people say, oh, I already distanced myself from my denier circles and nothing changed. I'm like, well, if nothing changed, you didn't distance yourself from them.
All right. Fair play.
Because when an alcoholic loses all their people, things change.
Yeah, but if I'm the only one,
stay with me. So I get it. So you're the only one who distances yourself, and then the other like 10 stay around and enable her. And yeah, I get it. But if you energetically distance yourself and you become abundant and you become thriving and you go live your own life and you stop people pleasing, and now you're a good role model and you attract a tribe and you have friends and you have like a new family, and you've kind of created your own family and everyone loves you and you're inspiring people and you're becoming a leader and you're lighting up people, then one of the other 10 comes along. They're like looking at what Sin's doing over there. And they're like, okay, I'm ready to get out of this denial. I'm ready to stop people pleasing. Sin, can you tell me how? and then you make them rich and you make them thrive and you make them prosper and you help them because they became ready. Like one of the 10 will become ready. And now there's two of you. It's like, oh, Sin and so-and-so are both doing really well and they seem to be like living how they want and they look hot and they're making money and they're like loving life and they're always positive and there might be something to this. And then a third person comes along, Billy Joe or whatever. And now he's like, what are you guys doing like over here? Right? It's like the reason the deniers are so entrenched is because they have their giant sandcastle. But if you take your shovel and go build your own sandcastle and it's better and more majestic and brighter and all the kids come over to play it in your neighborhood, like things start to change. It's just not an instant change. It's a gradual change. And it's not a direct change. It's an indirect change. And it's not an obvious change. It's a subtle change. And so everyone wants to magically wave a wand and get some obvious, direct, instant change for their denier friends. And it's like, no, they're going to stay people pleasing for a while. Make peace with it. Get over it. They're in their phase. They're on their journey. If you want to speed it up, go build your influence. Become an influential human on the planet. Become powerful and positive and enriched and prosperous. And show them that by living your own path and following your own heart, true thriving comes. Go be a role model. And then gather other people to you. And all of you become role models. And now their lonely sandcastle doesn't look nearly as enticing to stick around. And now they're not so attached to their denial. Now they're like, wow, look at all the family and friends having fun over there, living their own way. You mean I can actually do what I want? I don't have to stay in this job. I don't have to stay in this career. I don't have to live in this place. I can actually make changes. It works for them. And now they're a little more receptive. And they look around and they're like, I'm sad and lonely. And I deserve this because I stayed in denial. Like they're forced to face the facts. They're forced to face their life. Like the alcoholic can deny until everyone's gone. Then they hit rock bottom and they're like, damn, I've had blinders on this whole time. I wish they would learn it easier. I wish there was a magic wand I could wave. I wish it wasn't so like intense to distance ourselves and draw lines with people, but that's not what you got to do. Go find me a better way. Study the whole world forever. Make it your mission to cure deniers, and you're still not going to find a better way than what I've told you.
No, I agree. I already know.
Yeah.
I already know.
Right. So why am I the only one that's ever at peace with this? Like if no one's at peace with this.
Because it feels bad. It feels bad when you love somebody that and you want to be around them and you really enjoy parts of them and you enjoy a lot of the things about them, but there's other things that they won't allow you to enjoy.
Sorry, man, you can't hang around people pleasers.
It's very frustrating for me. There's a lot more to it in my situation, but overall, most people feel bad about this is because the person they love has stuff they love. Like I enjoy spending time with people for different reasons. And when I have to distance myself from them and not talk to them anymore and not be around them and find memes and funny, cute things that I know they'll like and I can't send them and I have to stay away. It feels bad. It feels bad because especially if you are in a stage where you are like healed or you're like your transformation has or your evolution is pretty far along and you're like, man, you could do the same thing. And so we spend a lot of time online with other people who are healing in different stages of healing and whatever, but it feels good to talk to them because they're open to what we have to say. Here, it doesn't feel the same because my daughter is actually more open to what I have to say. And I'm impressed with the amount of things she's learned too. Right. She hasn't maybe applied them the way she could, but all good. That's not a judgment. It's just what it is. Well, other people in the house are worse. I don't want to use the word worse.
It's just people aren't as far along on their journey. That's all. Life is a journey and everyone takes it at their own pace. I don't get mad because someone wants to stroll or take the scenic route. I don't get mad if someone wants to pull over at the side of the road, but I got to go on my journey at my pace. And that means I'm probably going to leave them behind.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing.
It's okay.
So my issue, I can't speak for everyone else, of course, but for me personally, it's the fact that I'm an only child. I have no siblings. And so I feel pressured, I guess, almost because
you're afraid of loss. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be isolated.
No, it's not me. It's her. It's her side. Okay,
well, I don't think they'll get along without me. They're probably going to die if I leave. They're probably going to be depressed and lose their life or commit suicide. It's like, it's just reverse people pleasing. Like now you're afraid of what they'll do to themselves or something. Like it's still the same thing. right? Like it's just the same thing.
Yeah. And also my children won't take care of her in the same way that I will.
Right.
So
like it's good. This is how deniers wake up. When all the people that take care of them and enable their denial are gone, they have to look around and be like, how did I push this many people away? Why did the most positive influences in my life disappear?
Yeah.
Is it something about me? They actually finally look inward and they start to examine themselves and become self-aware. Or they might tap out of life and be like, you know what? Screw them. I hate them all. And then kill themselves or something. And it's like, whatever. This is all your choice. Everyone's trying to help you. We had an hour-long podcast discussing how to help the deniers. How can we possibly help these people? Our heart is in it. We're doing everything we can. And literally the only option you've given us because of your crazy denial is to leave. And then when we leave, you could look inside and hit rock bottom and like face facts, or you could blame everyone and commit suicide. Like it's all on them. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like everything, especially with her, like everything is about blaming other people. Well, and so like there's burned toast, right? I burned toast the other day and I asked like, what's up with your toaster? Like every piece of toast I put in there, I've burned. Oh, well, it's your fault and your mistake. And I'm like, well, I don't know your toaster. Like, is there a number that it goes on that it doesn't burn? Did I use the wrong side? It was such a simple question of how can I not burn this? So, and it was turned on me in a super hateful way too. Like, it's your fault. You can't even use a toaster. Like, all you have to do is push the thing and blah, blah, blah. And it turned out I experimented and burned like 6 pieces of toast, but I found out the problem is that there's a little button you push for bagel and it toasts it, but doesn't overburn it. And I didn't know that. And no one told me, but it was all put on me in a really nasty way. Oh, because if the tables had been turned, I would have said, oh, it's okay. You don't know, but there's a little button here. I'm so sorry that I didn't show you when you were going to make the toast. My bad. So it's so small of a thing. But
it's not. It's a big energetic thing. It's showing
how
where
you
people
do
are
the
at.
small is how you do the big. And if you blame me for your toaster that you haven't told me about, then you're going to blame me for everything and anything under the sun. And you're never going to take responsibility for your own shit.
Well, they will. But I explained, if you want to change them and help them and fix them, it's a long, indirect, subtle journey.
Well, I don't think she has that many years left to be on
whatever. Like, this is all naysaying and negative stuff. Focus on the solution. Step up and do it. If you think she doesn't have long, you should be doing it faster. Don't give me this. Don't waste the whole podcast talking about how she's not going to do it or it's not going to work or whatever.
You're right. I know.
If you really care about this, get on it. Hang up the podcast and get moving. Change your energy and get that distance and see what happens and go thrive and blossom and create your own family of people who are living in a great way, doing what they love, and be that role model and be it faster. Yeah. Move your momentum forward and your pace forward. If I care about someone and I want to fix this, you will not see me dilly-dallying or making excuses or whining or complaining or acting like I'm running out of time or any of that. You will just see me on it, solving that shit.
Yes, sir. I'm on it.
Too.
I know. I'm on it.
Good. Let's thrive and help this woman.
All right. Well, I love it. I love it. You are amazing and awesome and wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to me about my own people-pleasing stuff and my mother's people-pleasing stuff and my daughter's and self-esteem and helping me understand this. And from this conversation, I have realized that there is absolutely not one single thing I can ever do to make her change. Like, I can't talk to her. I can't show her things. I can't threaten her. I can't cry. All the manipulation tactics that she does, I can't use those to make her stop. And so that's okay. I raised my energy and I did it already this morning and I'll keep doing it and I will show her exactly why I'm doing the thing. And it's funny because in the middle of you saying all that stuff, I got 2 phone calls and I have been super, super clear with everyone in this house. 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. I am asking for 2 hours, 1 day a week for nobody to interrupt me. And both of them called during our filming while you were saying all that. And for a second, I thought I should text them. And then no, they're grown ass people. I gave the time super clear. They know. That's why they didn't text me after they called me, because they know they're wrong. They know I put up a boundary, and they're both trying to test me.
Yeah, and you almost people pleased by calling them back, but you didn't.
No,
good job.
I'm not, because it's 12:28. I have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much. This was a really eye-opening episode. As usual, my favorite part, sir, was when you said, when I said, oh, this part, I want this clip.
Oh, the cage of opinions getting smaller.
Yes. Where that your life gets smaller when you people please. And that's why, like, I used to think the people pleasing made me so upset, and it was like damaging, because I was like doing what other people thought. But really the damaging part is that I was limiting myself, and for a person like me who loves freedom and loves to travel and loves to explore things and find new challenges and new cultures and new people and try new things. This is why it was harder and harder and harder for me, and I did not understand that. And so it was really an eye opener for me for when you said that. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love opening people's eyes, and as long as someone's not in denial and they're cooperating with me, I can help them cure anything. Like any mental issue, any energy issue, any attitude issue, any misunderstanding of life. Like, bring it on, man. I'll cure it.
I love it.
You're too spoiled, I'll cure it. You're a people pleaser, I'll cure it. You blame the world, I'll cure it. As long as you cooperate and you're sincere and you really want to change, I can clear it in one conversation. Like,
and that's why you're my mentor and my coach. And that's why if you guys are looking to help your people pleasing, help your family, fix your mental health and change your life and fix your business and make money, this is the man that you need to be seeing. He is the one. You can email me if you're interested, or you can go to jrise.me/coaching. I will put the link in the description this week so that you can get to it. And also go sign up for our newsletter. It's eyeswideopenfree.com so that you can have your eyes wide open 3 times a week in our newsletter and catch up on all the hot goss that we share with our newsletter audience that we don't share with anyone else anywhere, not even on social media. And I don't share that stuff with my family either. So check it out. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your amazing insights. I'm glad you got fired up. I love when I can pull that out of you, even if it's because you're annoyed with me or whatever. I love you. And do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our wonderful audience?
Yeah, my voice is hoarse and I need water. So bye.
And that's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. After today, you will know how to work on your self-esteem to help stop people pleasing. So now you can go see this video here called People Pleasers Are Abusers, to help you really understand people pleasing and help stop it, and to help you keep your eyes wide open.
Keep rising.